Hello, welcome back to PlayStation Access. My name's Dave, and I'm joined today by Nath.
Hello.
And we are checking out some capture that, Nath, you did.
I did.
Of Ruiner.
Ruiner?
Yeah.
It's such a good name. It's such a good name.
It tells you a lot about what you're dealing with straight away.
Wrecking guy.
Yeah, big time. Boom.
Spoiler.
That guy ruined.
No, wait.
No, yeah, that's
No,
wrong.
not spoiler.
Not spoiler. So yeah, Ruiner is a new game coming out, being published by Devolver, that we have checked out. This is us playing, or you playing it at Gamescom.
Yep.
What can we say about it?
It's unapologetically cyberpunky. Look at these guys.
Yeah.
It's about the future of humanity. It's quite cynical.
Yes.
It's got like this view of humanity. There's kind of an opening spiel about how technology is going to advance, but it's not going to change human nature, and that people are going to be as easy to play with as ever, which suggests that people are going to stay horrible and also be mean to each other. And you are like, it looks like you're wearing a motorcycle helmet, but you've got sort of a hacked head on, and you display messages on. It's just like, obviously there's some style, some extreme aesthetics going on. It looks cool. You're dropped into this like top-down isometric factory facility, and the only instruction you're given is kill boss.
Yes.
Kill boss. And it's like someone is just, there's like this figure who appears on screen every now and again giving you these imperatives. You're going to see some tutorial stuff, me doing the same stuff over and over again in the gameplay, just as I just get to grips with the basic mechanics of the game. It's slightly frustratingly with this mine. But yeah, so you're kind of like, you get the sense that you're some sort of drone-like hitman or violent guy.
Yeah.
And in that way, the sense of kind of playing with reality and the slightly pared down but extremely stylish look and the violence, this is a lot like Hotline Miami. It plays very differently. Well, quite differently.
Yeah.
It's very much its own set of mechanics. But in terms of a formula, you could, if you loved Hotline Miami, you could go much further wide of the mark than this.
Yes, absolutely. And good news, everyone. I did love Hotline Miami.
I did as well. Look at me swinging a stick. I mean that's big in Hotline Miami. I swung loads of sticks.
Love the stick. You can do a lot with the stick. But yeah, there's a lot more sort of cool ideas that do come into play with this, and I mean, you're just getting to grips with it. As we said, this is basically the sort of tutorial level. So you're going to be learning the sort of basic moves. Dash is very important. And so yeah, kill boss. I think there's a kind of an idea that it's an AI. I think you called your master. Anytime they speak to you, it speaks to you this voice. It comes up and it's called your master.
I didn't get the sense it was an AI. I got the sense that it was some sort of hacking personality.
I definitely felt that you had been hacked, and I think I might have read that it was an AI. However,
you spoilt it for me.
Yeah, but however, there is another voice. There's another voice.
There is, but that comes at the end.
It does.
So let's come on now.
Well, no. I'm not trying to. I'm not skipping ahead. I just wanted people to know.
Well,
I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it's certainly ambiguous about whose side you're on, what you're doing, and why you're doing it.
Isn't it funny that we've just played Superhot, which was another incredibly stylish and violent game in which there were hacking mechanics and also some element of not being sure what reality you were in.
Yes.
Isn't that funny?
It's a good theme.
It is a good theme. Right, let me talk to you about some of the mechanics now, because we're just going into the shield. So you can pop a shield up here, which obviously I need. The game kind of forces me to do because there's those turrets. I got it wrong anyway. You cannot melee through or fire through the shield, but you can use it as a sort of a battering ram.
Yeah.
But you have to dash, and dash is kind of the basic mechanic. You get 3 dashes in a row before there's a short charging up period.
Yeah.
And this reminded me a little bit of Nex Machina.
I was going to say that, yeah.
And it does feel like, in the way that Hotline Miami feels much more like, it feels like there is shooting in it, but it's kind of quite close combat. This has got like some elements to it with the dashing and the twin stick shooting that make it feel a lot more like a hybrid of a kind of like a hack and slash kind of game with a traditional shoot 'em up, and especially the kind of reaction, the speed that you get at with the dashing. And in a moment you're going to see that I get the ability to pre-plan a series of dashes by laying markers on the floor, and that allows me to get in and out of certain bits of the level or get into certain enemies very quickly. And yeah, like that really sets it apart. And when I realised towards the end, we're not playing this on a particularly hard difficulty level, and it is a tutorial mission, but I still found at the end I had almost exactly as much to do as I could handle at any given time while trying to also dodge bullets and kill everything in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the mechanics, they're really, really cool, and I think, you know, it's one of those games that you can play, but if you master it, you're going to see some sort of people doing amazing things with it. It's particularly, like you talk about, that sort of that kind of planning mode almost with the dash, which we'll see in a minute, where you can plan sort of 3 dashes in a row.
Yeah.
People are just going to do mad things with that, like getting behind enemies. You know,
you can chain them with melees. You know, you can do them very, very quickly. The timing is going to become really important.
Yeah, it just adds a whole new layer to this. Like you kind of think, you look at this game initially and you think, okay, yeah, I get it, and then it actually there's a lot more to it. So I think we're going to see it now. I think this is multi-dashes where you hold the dash button down, and does time slow
I
at
kind
all
of set
for you?
waypoints. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Does it?
Not sure.
I don't know. We've been playing Dishonored today, in which time definitely does slow.
Yeah, exactly. I
specifically
don't want to
for
get
me.
those confused. But so I mean, you can see it there. So obviously it wants you to do it in the little target zone. But yeah, you set up 3 dash points, and then
away I go.
off you go. Which once you get into combat and you see that being used, you know, again, it's like it just sort of becomes. You have to do it for a while before you kind of see the potential of it, like how useful that can be, and just how stylish it is, and just when you pull something off like that, it's just really cool. There's a couple of times when you're in cover and you need to get to a different bit of cover, and you sort of nip behind somebody and, you know, smack them around the back of the head, and it just looks really, really cool and is very satisfying.
I feel like it's a game which it's got that knack of, and it's designed in such a way that it makes you feel and look as cool as possible. At the same time, I knew that there were, you know, heights that I was not hitting with the various mechanics that I've been given. But at the same time, even the kind of the basic grasp of them, like dashing and using the melee attack, it's just very satisfying. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And then I understood that there was like another level above that, which I would need a lot of practice to get to, and then obviously there's going to be people above that who make this game look like somebody playing an orchestra. It's going to be beautiful. But yeah, I felt like even for me there was like an achievable level of sophistication just beyond my grasp, but which I would play the game to try and get to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really like the way it plays with time as well. It does, you know, it's a really a really good looking game. Like, they know how to present this game. They know when to slow time down and let you enjoy the visceral action.
Definitely.
And stuff, and also just how that plays into the game, like I said, with using the multi-dash and things.
And also, I also like the design of the enemies is so it's so 80s 90s cyberpunk, you know, flat tops, shaved sides, sunglasses, like everyone's wearing leather, like these kind of skinny runt gang members, and they're soaked in like this red. It's great.
They're bad guys, aren't they? I mean, you look at them and you just know they're bad guys.
Don't mind killing these guys.
That's what you want. You want bad guys. If you're going to be smashing them around the face with a pole, I like to know that they're bad guys.
I did, and so what you're also seeing as well, there's a couple of little armory things you can hack into just by tapping out button press sequences, and every now and again there'll be a gun which has obviously got like a limited supply of ammo, but which is much more powerful than other guns. There are people like that person that we've just left behind. They're adding just sort of a colour to the world. You can't really interact with those people, but they will kind of talk around you. And react to what you're doing.
Kind of again, sort of just adding to the sort of ambiguity of what you're doing, or you know whose side you're on.
And it's weird that you don't react to them at all, and that kind of makes it gives the impression, it turns out correct impression, that you're this kind of slightly blank, automaton going through this. Initial level. Not very good at the mines. I found them much harder than people. You can see I've currently got equipped. I've just switched out, but I had equipped quite a big gun. But there we go. I was missing him, so I just hit him with my stick.
And as I understand it, there are loads of weapons, I think. I'm not sure on numbers or anything, but I was assured that there are loads and loads of weapons, loads of different guns and things.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see how they vary and what that means for combat.
I think like in super shoot 'em ups as well, there is going to be you can see that there's quite a lot of different guns available to me at the moment, and I think it will probably be like you'll have your favourite couple of guns, and then they'll be like, I'll have to use a pistol at some point or whatever. But you're going to get to know when you're going to keep hold of a gun, even though the ammo's low because it's your favourite, or whether you'll definitely want to switch it out for something else.
Yeah, I don't want to go on about Hotline Miami, but it's that thing again of defeat an enemy who drops a weapon that you like, you can pick that up, which is the best thing. When someone's been punishing you with a weapon, to just use it against them and their friends. Sure, why not?
It was nice. So this is one of the hacking things I was talking about. And what I enjoyed was taking on board quite a lot of mechanics in a short amount of time. And just the refreshing feeling of this game's got some stuff, like it's got some systems for me to play around with, and then it's staying at like a level where I was just thinking that there's a depth that like it's the classic, fairly easy to get to grips with, but mastering it is going to be a whole different and deep level. And I really like the kind of solidness of the design. There's two basic resources that I have: health, which I can regenerate by going on one of the health pads, and I don't know if it's energy or electricity. I'm not sure how it's, or power. I'm not sure how it's being presented in the game, but that's the one that I'm getting rid of. How am I getting rid of that? With my shield.
Particularly with your shield, but I think also with dash as well. I think dash might use it, or perhaps it's when the multi-dash, when you sort of plan the three moves. I think that uses it as well.
Very close to death there. Luckily, I was camping at health slot. And
we just saw actually for the first time that other voice.
Blinking
a lady saying don't do it.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, if you wanted to sort of like opposite statements, kill boss and don't do it, are it. That's a conundrum there.
Well, so this is getting to the kind of, but like, look at them, they're so bad in 80s.
Yeah.
This is the kind of the climactic encounter of this area. And all the way through, I should have said at the beginning really, but I have recently rewatched Ghost in the Shell, and there's like this huge, it's obviously quite a big influence, in the same way that was an influence on, The Matrix, which has been an influence on everything.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see, especially in the kind of the hacking superimpositions and the different people coming in and trying to grab hold of your brain, and just the general sense of a William Gibson future that we're living in, where my actual mind has been hacked.
Yeah.
And there's, and I'm a man who lives inside a sort of a motorcycle helmet with numbers on the front. So the mechanic here is that I have to kill everybody as quickly as possible, and I get seconds for every, I don't know if it's attack or every successful kill.
I think it's kill. So this is the first time, I guess, the player gets a kind of real sort of understanding, or starts questioning like this your master voice, because they're like, yeah, you've got to kill this guy, and also you've got a time limit to do it, or else you're going to die. And it's like, that's a bit weird. I love that the time limit of your life is on your own face. That's cool.
As it is for everybody.
As it is for everybody, exactly. Actually, you do quite well here.
It felt, when I was playing it, like, this is the first time I've seen it back, it felt like I was just dashing around like I knew what I was trying to do. I was trying to use the shield to shield dash the little guys, and then use my big gun on the chief, and it kind of looked like that.
Yeah, it sort of worked. It seemed to work. I like that kill boss has changed to open door, which is something I'm much more easy to.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Although it looks like opening door is put your hand in this power socket. So
yeah,
maybe not. Maybe I don't think it's gone very well.
But look,
for him,
it's actually a good thing. And in terms of opening levels, this did make me want to play the rest of the game. So job done there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's as we said, like I think the mechanics of it are really, really cool, and the sort of thing that once you get to grips with it, you'll be doing really amazing things that will impress yourself and those around you. And
Hacked your damn brain. By the way,
the best thing. I think we actually laughed out loud at that when we were playing it, and it's a really stylish looking game. I think it looks great. I love the presentation of it.
I do.
Really makes me want to play more. It looks really, really cool.
So that is a look. Look, that is our first look at Ruiner. It's coming from Devolver Digital. In my eyes, I think it's got lots of parallels with Hotline Miami. Not in an obvious way, not in a copycat way, in a stylish, just cool top-down shooter that I want to play. Let us know what you think about it in the comments. Dave, by the way. Yeah. I mean, I heard there were better grades than that, but
Yeah.
So look, let us know what you think in the comments. Do subscribe to PlayStation Access as well, because we have still got loads more coming up from Gamescom.